The recently concluded NRM Primaries that took place on the 17th July 2025 for Constituency Member of Parliament and Women Member of Parliament were characterized by chaos, including the altering of results, tampering of registers, and violence that also led to some deaths. Due to these irregularities, the President released a press statement yesterday citing his dissatisfaction towards the actions carried out during the NRM primaries by various political leaders within the NRM party. He stressed that all wrongdoers would be held accountable and prosecuted. We also got to hear from some of the candidates that participated in the primaries as they stated some of what they thought were irregularities and suggested for reforms to be made.
So many factors. Every region is being affected differently. I'll talk about my area in Busoga, where we have this something open. We have a political crisis. We have two forces. That's the right one, Iborebe, Kaltwala Kadaga, and right one, Anita Among. As Busoga, as a region, we're saying we stand with our own. So that must have affected partly to the loss of some of my colleagues. The other factor is that much as we strictly obeyed to use the registers, but this was not done. People were just lining up. I saw even on videos where people were counting kids. So the nature, some people would be recounted and turned back. So it was just some kind of a very disturbing situation.
The different members of parliament gave suggestions on some of the areas that should be reconsidered, including the party register and cleaning up behind the candidates, asserting that these are some of the reasons that caused the chaos across the different polling stations.
One is that we need to have proper time. We did not have enough time for campaigns. And most of my NRM members of parliament are designated on different committees, that during that time committees were functioning. So there's limited time for my members to interact. Two, we need to strictly follow the rules and guidelines. If it's register, we must follow the register.
The thing I observed which need to be reconsidered is the idea of lining. I think lining has caused a lot of problems and violence in the families. And in my constituency, you find that the man supports a different candidate and then the wife supports a different candidate. And normally one of the parties will force not to vote because the spouse will not want to see him or her to support the candidate of her choice. This was mainly affecting women. They have done a lot of work. They have put in enough work in the register. They did the cleaning of the register, but still in my constituency there are people who did not find their name. They came to vote, they realized they were not in the register. So my view is more work needs to be done as far as the register is concerned.
When asked about standing as independents, some members expressed disapproval of the practice of running independently after losing party primaries. They urged that the members should support one another and noted that such actions go against the party's rules.
There's instances where you can see there were challenges, but it's also not a good practice that when you lose, you again come as an independent. Because this was an internal election of the party, and it was an in-house election, and usually after electing we go and face other political parties. So if our own decided to come as independents, to a certain extent then they go against the norms of the party.
Despite the chaoses that occurred in the different parties of the country, some candidates attributed to the primaries as organized and peaceful, citing that it recognized the will of the people to ably choose their desired leaders.
In general, the whole of Lamu sub-region, we didn't witness any skirmishes, so it was peaceful. It was peacefully conducted, and therefore I would want to say that the outcome of the primaries in Lamu sub-region reflected the will of the people of Lamu.
Even after the primaries, many still remain dissatisfied with the outcome of the results, including both the candidates and voters claiming that some results were altered, hence filing for petitions. Members hope for the tribunal will take in consideration fair judgment for all who file their petitions.
We hope that the tribunal that is being set will have to harmonize, reconcile, and answer these questions. So that's what has caused to some reduction in the numbers, especially to the members of the 11th Parliament. But I want to tell you that these elections were not the general elections. These were internal party elections.
The tribunal that is composed of the 29 legal professionals is tasked to resolve the internal party disputes that occurred during the electoral processes and the government's concerns. According to the NRM Director of the Legal Services, as of Saturday, 20 petitions had been filed. Candidates with the complaints have been given 5 days up to Thursday to ensure that they filed their petitions. In a recent statement released by the PPU today, the President of Uganda, His Excellency Museveni, also who is the NRM party president, assured Bazukulu that the state agencies of Uganda have stated the necessary of anti-crime actions against the self-seekers. They are stating with the clear cases of these he called idiots, alleged to have altered the results in the tarring. He also mentioned that 8 of them have been arrested, and these are from Mayuge, Bukedin, Kapchura, Padea, Oyam, Rampara, Kariga, and Barara. Other targets are being followed up. He urged the public, especially party members, to provide evidence against the other offenses of violence, bribery, and interfering with the registrars. He also revealed how he constituted a committee of powerful lawyers to handle the petitions, emphasizing that they are to clean up the NRM as they also defend the wider interests of all Ugandans.